231,951. The fight of the night was Romero and Brunson. Knockout of the night was Luke Rockhold. Submission of the night was Cole Miller. They all won $50,000, so congratulations to everybody. What's up, buddy? Guys are coming in now. They'll be strolling in here. Who's got the first question out of the 4 of you that are here? Go ahead. Somebody give him a mic right here.
Just a little housekeeping stuff. Do you have an injury update on Brunson? We had heard that he maybe had a broken jaw.
Yeah, that's what I heard too while he was still in the octagon. He's been transported, and we don't have an update yet.
Okay. Attendance seemed sparse, but the numbers seemed good. The 5,800, whatever you said. Were you surprised at that? I mean, this is just this is a weeknight show, a school night and a work night.
Yeah, so. No, these Wednesday night ones are tough. But this was, we have Tough Nations, which was launching tonight, and it's always better when you roll into a one of those tough fights with a live fight.
Sure.
You're going to take your lumps on the gate sometimes, but it's worth it.
Right.
The big picture.
Then if I can move on to Luke, please. A little bit of poetic justice maybe after your last fight to be able to finish this one with a kick.
Yeah, no doubt. Just come back and make my own highlights and be on the right side of it. That's what I came here for.
Was that a scenario that you guys had talked about in camp? I mean, you and I talked on Monday, and you said that he's going to have to get inside, to get past your striking, and that once he did, you felt like he may not want to be there with you, and that you may have to go to the ground. But obviously, you didn't have to go to the ground with him at all.
Yeah, most interviews I do, I love my kicks. I love my liver kick. I talk about it a lot, and I love my head kick. So I was going to bait him in. I was going to try to tag him and knock him out. If I didn't, I was going to take him down. So I just felt comfortable in the stand-up. I was patient. I found my timing, and I think that's the key to being the best I can be is just wait. Sometimes I rush things and look sloppy, but tonight I was composed and had my head together.
Obviously, we know the Vitor rematch is something you're thinking about down the line. Obviously, if that can't happen immediately, what's next for you? What are you thinking about?
I'm looking at anyone in the middleweight division, top. Get myself back into position. I already let it be known Bisping's out there. A lot of people calling out, but Bisping went on national TV and told everybody he was the unofficial Strikeforce champion. He calls it a joke and this and that, but I say he's got bad taste and he needs to pay for it. So I'd like to get that match. He's a top 5 middleweight out there, and there's not many guys freed up right now, but I'm interested in getting on getting in there as soon as possible and having a good 2014.
Okay, and then Dana, can you talk about Luke's performance for a minute? Because obviously, if he loses this one, that's a long climb back for,
for
a
he
guy
looked
who's
awesome
a
tonight. Obviously, going in against a very tough guy and finishing him the way he did, he looked unbelievable. And you see this happen sometimes when guys come over from organizations, where they were champions or whatever happens. It takes them a little while to feel like they're home here. It looked like he felt at home tonight.
It's good to be here.
Is that it? We're done? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Huh? Bisping? I don't know. I mean, the fight just happened. We'll see how it goes. Huh? Well, Bisping's still healing. Let the kid heal a little bit, and then we'll.
I thought he wanted to get back in there.
Dana, I have a question for you.
Yep.
TJ and Mike Easton's fight was a pretty good one, and TJ displayed hands, man. What is the status of Mike? Is he pretty good, or are you?
I thought Dillashaw put on an absolute clinic tonight, man. I mean, everything. He did everything. Everything you could do, from wrestling to good hands, to the body, to the head, leg kicks. I mean, everything that you could possibly do to somebody, he did. And he even showed some toughness in that first round. Maybe I'm wrong. He can answer the question himself. But it looked like he got hurt really bad with a kick to the body in the first round, and he went right for the takedown. But people don't realize how hard it is to eat those type of body kicks when you get kicked like that. I think he showed a little bit of everything tonight. So, and against a guy who is an explosive, my problem with Easton, he's an incredible, well-rounded athlete. He's tough. He hits hard. He's a good wrestler. he's down 2-0 and doesn't come out in the third round with any urgency. Like, didn't try to, didn't go after him, didn't try to knock him out, didn't try to finish him. It's the exact opposite. It's Dillashaw doing what he did the first 2 rounds, just picking him apart and hitting him with big shots, and that was my take on the fight.
I got you. And TJ, for you, man, how badly were you hurt in that first round, and what made you focus on getting everything? And what do you attest to your hand speed too, man? Because you were really quick with the hand speed, man, punching him and you cut him up. So.
I don't remember getting hit to the body, but I definitely did, because when I went and took a pee afterwards, I had blood in my urine, so that was kind of, I must have taken some good body shots there. So I don't remember it, but it's kind of awkward for me. But my hand speed, it's all Dwayne, man. I mean, I came in being a good athlete, but he's just kind of put the confidence behind it and been working great combos, and we've just been putting in the work. I mean, it's just, I don't have training camps. I have, a lifestyle with Dwayne, being there with the coach and helping out all my teammates and just staying on top of it, getting better every day.
And thank you, man. One for Cole real quick. Cole, you mentioned something about Cowboy Cerrone and you wanting to fight him. What's the status of that beef, man, and what made you decide to call him out tonight?
This is not something new. This rivalry started in 2007, and we had a couple of out-of-the-cage altercations over the past few years. And, when he first came into the UFC, he called me out, on TV, and I just wanted to return the favor. He's been talking about coming down to 145 pounds and fighting at featherweight, and talking about it's one thing. If he just needed some motivation to come on down, then I gave it to him.
Hey Dana, how's it going?
Good.
Can you talk about where this puts Yoel Romero now after tonight?
Yeah, the thing about him is, he's so explosive. And again, what I love about this guy and what I love about fighters that fight like he fights, I had him down 2 rounds. And he comes out in the third round with urgency like he needs to finish the fight, and especially against a tough guy like Brunson. Brunson is no joke. That guy is very, very tough. And if you look at his experience, he's only got like 7 fights, and 8 including tonight. And to go in and win the fight like he did against a guy like Brunson, I wish this guy was here when he was 25. I hope I answered your question. He's still very inexperienced. You know what I mean? He's still very inexperienced. I know that people are going to want to push him faster because he's just such an explosive, exciting guy to watch. But he's a finisher, man. He's got that killer instinct. I don't know if he knew he was down 2 rounds or if he just felt better in the third round than he did the first 2. But he came out with urgency, like he needed to win and needed to win by a finish, and he did it. I love that stuff.
Dana, can you comment on GSP's comments recently about drug testing and
Sure.
UFC?
I knew somebody was going to ask that one before we even got through with this press conference, so we might as well get this out of the way. First of all, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but George St. Pierre is the one that said he wanted to do the extra drug testing because he wanted to prove that he wasn't on drugs. It wasn't that he thought that Johnny Hendricks was on steroids or performance-enhancing drugs of any kind. He wanted to do this. And just like you see in boxing, when I said that I thought it was ridiculous for these guys to be doing, first of all, you see it in boxing all the time. One guy comes out and says, I want to do extra drug testing because I'm worried about this guy. I want to see what's going on. They never come to an agreement. This guy says, I want to use this one. This guy says, I want to use that one. The Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to test them. Okay? Now, a lot of things, I've talked about the Nevada State Athletic Commission as far as the refs and the judges. They drug test. Not only did they drug test Josh Barnett for his last fight, because Josh Barnett was a guy who had been busted for performance-enhancing drugs before, they also made Travis Brown do it, too, at the same time, and the UFC paid for that. We paid for that drug testing. Also, for him to say that we don't, we're very lenient on drug testing, when we go out of the country and we regulate ourselves, we test everybody on the card, not just the main event, not just the co-main event. And you want to talk about being lenient? The fight that I was screaming about, yelling about, that was the greatest fight I'd ever seen, Mark Hunt and Bigfoot Silva, we tested the guys for that fight. We caught Bigfoot Silva, and he got destroyed. Literally got destroyed for testing positive, for going over the limit. He didn't test positive. What he did was Vitor Belfort, Bigfoot Silva, any of these other guys that are on TRT, we test them throughout their whole camp. So he did his last test the week of the fight, and his numbers were fine. He took a shot after he got tested. So we tested him again after, and his levels were through the roof, and he got destroyed. Lost the win money that we gave him, lost the bonus money that we gave him, and obviously he's not getting an extra bonus. The guy got smashed, and he's suspended for a year. So if that's lenient on drugs, I guess we're lenient then. I mean, I don't even know what to say to it. What I heard is, and you know, George St. Pierre is upset about some of the things that I said at the press conference, and he's upset that I said that he didn't win the fight, that I thought Johnny Hendricks won the fight. But if that's the case, call me man to man. Let's talk on the phone. Let's sit down face to face. I talked to him after the fight face to face. He didn't say any of that to me. So the whole thing is a little weird. And then as far as, you know, the other thing he said, that we're a monopoly, Viacom is our competitor. They have a $40 billion market cap. $40 billion. Okay, I'm never going to see $40 billion as long as I live. Neither will the UFC. So we're not a monopoly either. Everything that George St. Pierre said is a little kooky.
Are you going to contact him and speak to him about it?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, too. You know, I'm here. I've been in Atlanta. I've been on planes and doing all this stuff. Lorenzo reached out to him. Lorenzo still hasn't heard from him yet. So, you know, if George St. Pierre wants to talk like a man, he can pick up the phone and call us or come see us face to face. But everything that he said is ridiculous.
When he was still around, did he ever say anything to you about this, you know, kind of express his feelings about drug testing at all?
George St. Pierre has been accused his whole career. That's why he wanted to do the drug testing. BJ Penn, when he fought BJ Penn, BJ was accusing him of being on performance-enhancing drugs. So the reason he wanted to do this drug testing was to prove to the world that he's not. He's been with the UFC for 10 years. He's defended his title 9 times. Have you ever seen him try to do any extra drug testing or, you know, say, hey, I want to do extra, I want to do this, I want to do that? Never. And this time was supposed to be to prove that he wasn't doing it. And for the record, George St. Pierre has never tested positive for anything in his whole career. And he's been tested because most of his fights in the UFC were title fights. So he was always tested. So the whole thing is real weird. Any other questions about George St. Pierre? Because by all means, speak up, and I'd love to hear it. You know what I mean? I don't want you guys to hear, oh, you guys didn't ask Dana any of the hard questions. Hit me. I'm ready. No? All right. Next.
Brad, can you talk about your win a little bit? Right here, boss. What's up, buddy? Obviously, a nice run that you're on now. You were a fairly sizable underdog tonight, and a lot of people counting you out despite the streak. But talk a little bit about, you know, your game plan going into the fight, because it looked like you didn't really have much trouble at all.
Yeah, it was a bad bet for them. But yeah, my coaches and I, we watched previous fights from Larkin and seeing that if you give him space and, you know, if you give him that range and let him set up his game, you know, he's very creative, very explosive striker, quick with both his hands and his feet. So I tried to upset his rhythm a little bit and keep the pressure on him somewhat. But, you know, I've said it before, he's quick, but I felt like I was quicker, and I think I showed that tonight. And I just didn't let him get into a groove, and I got into my groove.
I know you've talked about, you know, wanting a step up in competition. I think that probably started tonight, but now, you know, what's the next step up the ladder at this point?
Whoever Dana gives me.
You know he's not going to make a fight for you right now, but.
You know, I just been trying to rally for those guys in the top 10, and I beat, I think, number 13 tonight, so hopefully this fight gives me a match with a top 10 guy.
And Dana, you did say, you know, prior to this, I think that, you know, this was a huge fight for him, obviously, to prove some stuff.
Was a big fight. Big fight. He won it tonight, and yeah, he definitely climbed up the ladder. You know, I don't know where this will. You guys are the guys that are going to decide where this ranks him in that division, and we'll go from there. One more thing on George St. Pierre while I'm standing up here thinking. So, you know, George St. Pierre had upset him his whole career about, you know, BJ and other fighters saying, claiming that he was probably on some type of performance-enhancing drugs. Then he goes out and says something like he said the other day, which then he says it now again about all the guys that fought here tonight and other guys who fight in the UFC. And, if you are using performance-enhancing drugs in the UFC, I mean, these guys get caught. You get caught when you do it. Yeah, maybe you're slick and maybe you made it past a couple of, for instance, maybe you fought in one of these athletic commissions where they'll only test the main event or they'll only test the co-main and main event. But then you show up at one of these international shows where people don't realize we're testing the entire card from the first prelim to the main event. Everybody's getting tested. You're going to get caught if you're using it. So it's just the thing that's bothered him and upset him his whole career, he now just threw back on all the other guys that are fighting, which is unfair to the guys who aren't using anything, And as far as TRT goes, TRT is a hot topic with a lot of people, including myself. It's legal. You can do it. But it has to be monitored. And believe me when I tell you, we monitor the shit out of people. We monitor guys. And I told you guys about Vitor Belfort that we would be all over him, and we have been all over him. And he has always been within his limits.
Was this stuff that George just came out with related to anything that you guys talked about after the fight?
Not even close. Not even in the same universe. If George felt that way, then he should have said it. He should have said it to our faces right there, or to my face. I'm not very sensitive. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not always going to say things that fans love, that fighters love, but I always give my opinion. I thought Johnny Hendricks won the fight. That's my opinion as a fight fan and as a guy who sat there and watched the fight. I'm sorry if that hurts George's feelings, but that's how I saw it. Doesn't mean I don't like George. I've never said anything but good things about George St. Pierre his entire career.
Since we're talking about this, so when GSP listed the reasons why he wanted to step away, that wasn't one of them.
Not even close.
Okay.
And it wasn't, George St. Pierre never said he wanted to go away. He said he needed some time off because he had all these personal issues going on in his life. And he needed some time off. So not only, we said, do your thing, vacates the title. We're having a title fight in Dallas now. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. And we're not even, we left the guy alone. We're not asking him to do anything. We haven't, letting him do his thing. Guy's out doing more interviews now than he did when he was fighting. Said he wanted to disappear for a while and go away. Well, here we are. Now we're talking about George St. Pierre. We're trying to get him on the phone. We're trying to, it's so weird.
Yoel, right here. Was your game plan tonight to kind of relax the first couple of rounds and go at him hard, go at Derek Brunson hard in the third round? Or were you trying to pace yourself for that? Or were you just doing what you needed to do?
La estrategia que tú tenías hoy fue hacer los primeros dos rounds suaves y entonces estar en el tercer más fuerte, o eso fue algo que pasó en la pelea?
Fue algo que pasó, simplemente uno se tiene que ir adaptando, uno tiene un plan, pero uno se va a ir adaptando a lo que va sucediendo en el combate. Y así fue como sucedió el combate y esperé mi momento.
It wasn't necessarily the strategy. Someone has a strategy when they walk into the fight, but as the fight goes on, you have to shift it and change it. So he changed it as it went on, and that's what happened.
Oh, okay. Did you feel stronger in the third round, or were you just as fresh for all three?
¿Te sentiste que tenías más energía en el tercer round o tú estabas fresco por los tres?
Estaba fresco en los tres.
He was fresh all three.
Okay. And this one for Costas. Was it the first kick that got you, or was it the combination of both kicks, or what? What was it that hurt you? Was it the first kick, or what?
Yeah, both. The first kick got me, and I was trying not to show it, and it took him a couple of seconds, but he realized that I was in pain, and he landed the second kick on the same spot, so it took the wind out of me. And besides that, he caught me with the first kick that he threw on the head. And I tried to push the pace a little bit because I knew the fight possibly was going to get stopped. Didn't go my way tonight, so got to go back, heal, and do it again.
You don't have any rib injury. It was just like a liver shot?
No. Yeah, I got fortunate enough in a weird way. I didn't break any ribs, so I'll be good as new next week.
Closest, when you get hit with a shot like that in the liver, does everything just shut down? It just goes blank? You hit the canvas?
I don't know how to describe it. You can't breathe, and it is painful. And it took me probably a minute to be able to inhale oxygen again. They were asking me if I was okay, and I couldn't say yes. So I gave them thumbs up. Basically, that I'm still alive, I'm okay. Yeah.
Cole, you've talked about not being consistent in the past, and it seems like maybe you're settling into a groove now. 3 of your last 4, a couple submissions. Is there anything you've done differently in the last 4 fights to get into a kind of a groove like that?
Yeah, I think last year I had a good year. 2-1 on paper, but I think everybody here knows I had a 3-0 year with the decision against Gambarian being the one lost. But yeah, I started. It just started clicking with mixing it. I think that I've shown in the past that I can stand with all the strikers, and then I grapple all the grapplers. I'm grappling guys like George Gurgel and striking with guys like Ross Pearson. But I think the one thing that I lacked was the ability to mix all my skills together, and training at American Top Team and working on my strength and conditioning, and then just the overall drop to featherweight and getting comfortable with the weight cut and things like that. It's been able to make me bring my skill set together and mixing that striking and mixing that grappling with the takedowns and things like that.
So it's been purely physical. It hasn't been any kind of psychological, mental thing or anything like that?
No, like psychological breakthroughs or anything like that. It's just a lot of hard work and hard training. And I think that if you go back and look at my 2013 year, I think that you can see that I've been working hard. I think that I'm developing a real comfort with my distance and dealing with the short, stocky guys. That was always something that gave me a problem in the past. And I could have chosen to move up. I have the frame to be a bigger man, or I could just figure out how to get past what was giving me problems and learn to take my advantages and my attributes and put it to what was my kryptonite at the time.
And then, do they know yet about the hand?
Yeah, it's broken.
Broken for sure?
I'm gonna go and get it checked out tomorrow and find out if I need to get surgery.
Okay. And then TJ, real quick. Obviously, I know you talked after the fight about you feel like you're on a 6-fight win streak, and I think a lot of people probably agree with that. Now your boy's going for the title in 2 weeks. What next for you in terms of moving up in the division if he wins?
I'm not
I
really
know this is a question you guys love to hear all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty much the worst question. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I'm just a businessman. I mean, I'm going to come in there and perform every time. I'm going to be real aggressive. And whatever they want to put me up against, I'm excited about.
And I know you guys work together a ton. How important was that for him having a fight now coming up real soon compared to when your fight was, to be able to work together and kind of peak near the same time?
Oh, it worked out perfect. I mean, we had 4 guys fighting in the Sacramento card that I'd help out get ready for their fight. So I had some hard sparring far out, got to taper a little bit at the end, and then Uriah after his fight, helped me out, got right back into the room to help me for this fight, and it worked out in his favor because he got that short notice fight. I mean, the guy's incredible. He's always in shape, and I think this is the best Uriah Faber we've seen.
Yoel, did you realize that you were down 2 rounds heading into that 3rd round? Did you know?
¿Tú sabías entrando en el tercer round que tú estabas abajo los primeros 2?
Sí, lo sabía.
Yeah, he knew it. Well,
Did that change what you wanted to do? Did you come out looking for the knockout, looking for the finish?
Eso cambió la estrategia que tú tenías que hacer. Tú estabas buscando el knockout.
Para nada, sabía que también el primer round lo había tocado en el estómago, sabía que estaba flojo, que si combinaba bien lo que me estaban diciendo los entrenadores, iba a salir el knockout.
Definitely. I noticed in the first round that when I hit him, it dazed him a little bit, and I didn't get him as hard as I wanted to. So I knew that in the 3rd, that's what I had to do.
This is a funny question. In the third round, there was a dark substance on your shorts, and there was some funny stuff on Twitter during the fight. There's some videos going around. What was that substance? Was it just sweat, or what was that exactly?
En el tercer round había, ¿te acuerdas de la fotografía que te enseñaron? Que había un suéter atrás en el pantalón. ¿Qué fue eso?
Estaba mojado, agua.
It was wet.
Sweat?
Sweat.
Any more shitty questions? Thank you, guys. Have a good night. We appreciate your support.